This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show. Your war room for insider news and draft analysis from deep within the confines of Cowboys headquarters at the Star in Frisco. Now, your hosts, Voch Lombardi, Nick Harris, Bobby Belt, Tommy Yarrish, and Kyle Youmans.
Today is Thursday, February 19th, and we are 63 days away from the NFL Draft in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Welcome into the Draft Show presented by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas with Voch Lombardi, with Nick Harris, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. So glad you're with us. Welcome back, Nick. Hope you enjoyed your trip and are ready to dive into draft prep only for the next 63 days.
Yeah.
You got nothing else left to do.
Nothing at all.
No coordinator writing, no Fort Worth Star Telegram.
I have never been more excited for a combine week.
Wow.
I'll say that. Not necessarily from like a draft perspective, but more so just like a league buzz perspective. And I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
What excites you the most about the league buzz?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for that. I was hoping this red sweatshirt would kind of help blend it in a little bit. Don't zoom in on me too bad, Beam. I got some skin peeling already. But it's more so about these free agents and specifically with the Cowboys. You know what the meeting with George Pickens' representation looks like next week.
He zoomed right in.
Oh man,
thank you, Chris.
It'd be your own people.
Now it's the red of the sunburn and the red of the blushing. That's
now there's no blushing. This is just red.
It's just
yeah, it's tough. But I'm just excited to see what happens with the free agency, and next week's going to be the kickstart to all of that.
Yeah, it's the conversations that, of course, the front office has had already was it's going to be at the combine. Wait until the combine, and then we're going to finally get to see it. And then immediately you go from the combine into free agency and the legal tampering period and some of those other time periods that are going to be crucial for this team. Kind of speaking on that term, yesterday we got to hear from Christian Parker, the new defensive coordinator in Dallas, for the first time. And Tommy, lots of takeaways, I think, from that press conference. It was both he and Brian Schottenheimer up there. If you haven't listened to it yet, it's worth a listen. DallasCowboys.com. We've got it up on the YouTube channel. But there was a lot of reaction. Voch, I'm interested to hear your reaction there, too, because I saw you guys went live with it. But, Tommy, you were in the room. What were some of the things that you took away from Parker's press conference yesterday?
Well, he comes across as a really smart guy, which doesn't surprise us. I think everything that we kind of heard about him was that he's, very bright. I enjoyed the art of war and philosophy references back. So it's very clear that this is a guy who knows what he's doing despite being 34 years old, first-time coordinator. And that's all well and good. Again, I was telling somebody earlier, it's very hard to lose a press conference. He certainly, did his part. Now it's about, okay, how do you execute this? How do you teach these players your scheme? What is your scheme? Can you finalize that? Can you get your staff on the same page? And how do you get the personnel to complement it? I think one of the big things, and Nick asked this question, was how important is the nickel position in your defense? And he was talking about how important it was because that's a player that has to play corner. They have to play safety. They have to play linebacker at times. They have to play defensive end at times when they're blitzing the quarterback. So that was interesting to me in terms of, okay, which guys in this draft class, if they do look at the draft as a way to fill that position, could make sense there. And you could have a lot of guys there, safeties, corners, all kinds of players that could fit that mold of a guy that can be versatile, can do a lot of different things. So it'll be interesting to see, what kind of buzz we hear about some of the players they like at that spot, if that's going to be such a crucial point of this defense, because we know how much this team missed Jordan Lewis this year. Jerry Jones said it after the season-ending press conference that they didn't anticipate how much he would be missed.
Yeah, I think there were a lot of things that stood out about what he said, but there was one thing that stood out about what he did not say, and it was that he was wearing Cartier buffs in his introductory press conference.
Yeah,
like, oh my God, he's
tough.
ready to go. No, but I wanted to point back to that nickel conversation for sure, because we've seen it at his spots, whether it be in Denver and then Philly last year had an all-pro nickel in Cooper DeJean, and we've seen how Philly has been able to develop him into the player he has become in just his second season, and we talked about him right here on this show, his versatility, and I thought he was maybe more of a safety, and others were like, maybe he's more of a corner, and Philly was like, yeah, exactly, he's
both.
He's everything, and that's how they played him, and man, when he was talking about that nickel spot and he was talking about the versatility, we can all say it at the same time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Caleb Downs. It was like, oh my God, that would be a dream fit for what Christian Parker is trying to build within this defense. But I think there's a couple of sexy names in free agency that can make sense as well. You know, maybe not go all in on the fact that you hope Caleb Downs slips to 12 or that you maybe trade up and go get him. There's been some really fascinating trade scenarios that have been thrown out on social media, and I know Zach Wolchuk, a friend of the show, certainly had an interesting one with Cleveland that kind of shows where Dallas could potentially move up into the top 10. Look, man, I think I said in the beginning of all this, there's only one player I would trade up for, and it's Caleb Downs. Yeah. And now I'm like, yeah, there's two players now, Caleb Downs and Caleb Downs. Like that's where I'm at. And if you have to sacrifice future draft capital, man, I'm at the point where you heavily consider doing it, depending on what the price point looks like, even if that means you have to sacrifice a first-round pick in the future. Because I think Caleb Downs can be that valuable to this defense and that valuable to what Christian Parker's trying to build.
Yeah, man, for sure. This is a draft show, so I'll keep it drafty. Because I was happy to hear Shotty talk yesterday, too. But, you know, since we on draft or whatnot, right, I think I asked y'all a couple of weeks ago. And if not, I did it on one of my shows. It don't matter. It's somewhere. But I was like, man, listening to Steven talk about the corners the way that he talked about, like just guys on the team right now. Yep. Hey, man, we got plans for Revel. We got plans for Bland, right? So that lead Cowboy Nation be like, all right, who's going to be our nickel corner, right? We live in this world. We come from Jordan Lewis. He's gone. You know, Bland was like a nickel corner guy for us, and we was all that, you know what I'm saying? I guess people would lean to who's our next nickel corner guy. I asked a couple of weeks ago, like, man, are they more likely to add more corners or add more safeties? I think the Cowboys can walk away from this thing, bless you, needing 3 safeties. And what Christian Parker described yesterday wasn't a nickel corner. He described a nickel dude. You know what I'm saying? A nickel dude. And when I think about some of the nickel corners in this class, I don't think of guys that they all can play linebacker sometimes, or they could play in the box and come up and tackle sometimes, or blitz sometimes. It's a gang of safeties in this draft that can do all of those things, whether it's high, box, nickel, blitz, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So me walking away from that going, all right, that kind of like confirms or whatever, like how I've been feeling about these guys. And I just started looking at the names, and I watched some more cats the other day. Bud Clark is another one. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of dudes. Keontae Scott, the Enterman, McNeil Warren. If we don't get Caleb Downs, boy, draft guys will be smiling on us if we find a way to get Caleb Downs.
Do you think Thieneman could have that versatility?
Yep. Yep, 100%.
So that's probably your backup plan if Downs isn't attainable.
I think you're also looking at Avion Terrell.
He's right there too.
He's right there too. He's played nickel at Clemson. He's got the aggressiveness to step up and play the run, get into the backfield, and that's obviously what he's going to be looking for in that role.
The thing with Thieneman, is it Thieneman? Thieneman. Thank you. That I worry about is, can he cover at the nickel spot? I love him as a safety. Yeah. That my only concern would be, can he cover if he's asked to cover? If he comes and fills in the run game, great. If he can be rangy and play deep, that's great. But can he cover in man-to-man would be my question. I think there's some guys. You mentioned Keontae Scott. What would y'all think about Kyle Lewis?
Yeah,
in a role like
could
that?
be
Pit linebacker.
Is he athletic enough to cover, the speedy slots?
Yeah.
That's
he's undersized as a linebacker, so you could probably think he would fit that mold to transfer over a little bit in terms of his versatility. It's funny that you guys keep talking about secondary, and I get why. I think there's a significant influence from Christian Parker to the secondary as a whole, but one of the things in the press conference yesterday was his willingness to say 3-4, though they are going to play multiple, and he made that very clear. Multiple is the priority. They're going to run a base of 3-4 at times, in the majority of the time. And with the current personnel that you have on the roster, you don't have the big defensive ends. You don't have the big run-stuffing, edge-setting type of guys that you would need for that type of scheme. And so I'm looking at safety significantly, and I think that's pretty fair for everybody in the nickel spot specifically too.
Sure.
But you've got to kind of upend your edge rusher room from what you have now, because even with Donovan Ezeraku, and we've had that conversation before, Donovan Ezeraku is the bright spot of your edge rushers. Yeah. But he's undersized for what you would need him to do in terms of setting the edge. He did it fine this year as a rookie. Sure. I have no problems with Donovan Ezeraku, but that's it. Yeah. That's the end of the list in terms of those guys that you would have at a 3-4 type of scheme. Even with the multiple, you're going to have to do some work in adding guys, bigger edge rushers, are there guys that you have your eyes on now at 12 and 20 that could possibly fit that mold?
I will say the 3-4 conversation might be misconstrued a little bit on social media. He mentioned it's going to be 3-4 with 4-3 type spacing, so you're going to have those outside backers playing close to the line. And so Donovan Ezaraku yesterday became an outside linebacker in my eyes.
That's 1,000%.
Jadeveon Clowney, congratulations, you're now positional versatile. But you look at, okay, who's going to be the standard defensive end in a 3-4 type of setting?
Sure.
You're going to look at a big body. You're going to look at the Keldrick Fox. You're going to.
That's kind of the point.
Keldrick Fox all of a sudden makes a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense. You look at a TJ Parker. I think TJ Parker would be awesome in that type of system. But nevertheless, I think you still have potential to get more of the athletic defensive end, even if you sacrifice a little bit of size in that instance. If you're looking at, David Bailey still got good size at 6'3", 245, but if you're looking at him compared right next to a Keldrick Falk, where he's 3 inches down, 30 pounds down, it's a little bit different, but I still think he can serve that purpose and serve that role. Think about it, about how the Eagles played with Nolan Smith, about how the Broncos have played it with Nick Benito. Like, yes, these are pass rushers, these are edge rushers, but technically outside linebackers at the end of the day. The biggest indication, we should have known that going into the press conference, that this is what the defense is going to be, because they hired an inside linebackers coach and an outside linebackers coach, and their outside linebackers coach has been a pass rush specialist throughout his career. So, I don't know why we didn't put 2 and 2 together. Maybe some people did. Shout out to y'all, but
it was on Talking Cowboys on Tuesday.
Okay, well, there you go.
You were in Columbia. I don't blame you
there
for
you go.
missing.
So I was like, oh duh. Whenever he mentioned it in the presser, I was like, we should have known that going in. But nevertheless, it's going to be fun to see how it manifests with this defense.
But when you look at the outside linebackers now, that's kind of the point of the guys that you have on this roster. You mentioned Jadeveon Clowney. He's a free agent. They would love to bring him back. That's a conversation that's going to have to be had. But really, right now, it's Donovan Ezaraku and James Houston as your guys.
That's it.
That's all you got under contract. So you can completely upend your edge rusher room and make them either outside linebackers, but you need those big-bodied defensive ends. And outside of bringing back Jadeveon Clowney, you don't necessarily have that yet. Yeah. And that's where I think there's a lot of shift in focus from when we're talking about Keldrick Falk. And we've talked about him plenty of times. Some of us on the show feel good with him at 12 and 20. Some of us do not. And I think there's a conversation to be had there, because now it makes a little bit more sense from a scheme standpoint. But we've also talked about that before. You don't want to draft your players for the scheme. You want to draft the players and then fit the scheme around them. So any chance that you see versatility with that based off of what we heard yesterday?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to see a lot of versatility, whether it's, I'm not saying they're not going to get the big 6'6", 270, 280-pound guys that can anchor, set the edge, stick their arm out, and funnel stuff inside. But
sounds nice, though.
Yeah, it does sound nice. But I also think that, like you mentioned, you got 2 guys under contract. So you can work this however you want to. You can get a mix of guys that are maybe a little bit smaller and you're quick, bendy, twitchy guys that can get off the edge and get to the quarterback, because 3-4, 4-3 spacing, whatever you're in, if you're in those third down scenarios, you've got those 3 defensive tackles, you can put 2 speed guys on the edges, 2 smaller guys, and just pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. That's what some of these like Broncos and Eagles teams do. Sure, they have some bigger guys they mix in there, but Nick mentioned Benito. That's a guy that it doesn't matter that he's not maybe the big 3-4 edge rusher that you would expect, but if you can pin your ears back on third down and get after the quarterback, which is what Christian Parker wants to do. He said they want to affect the quarterback, and you have to win those early downs first. But when you get in those situations, you can be flexible with the personnel that you put out there. So, I wouldn't necessarily rule out other guys like an R. Mason Thomas from Oklahoma, or Cassius Howell, who I know some folks love from Texas A&M.
Some
Romello
folks.
Height. I'm just not as big.
He doesn't like him.
Romello Height from Texas Tech. There are all kinds of guys that you can have to fill those roles, and Jadeveon Clowney is a guy that makes a lot of sense to bring back because he fits that bigger role. But I think Christian Parker can have a lot of flexibility in what he puts out there because his scheme is flexible. Sure, they can say on paper it's going to be a base 3-4, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it sounds like they're going to follow all those principles religiously. This is going to be something that changes quite a bit.
Man, shouts out to my man's Garrett Podell yesterday. And Garrett was like, he didn't say it just like this. I'm being vash. He's like, hey, man, you got 3 defensive tackles. How do you get them all going? Garrett ain't say that exactly, right? But
I wish he did, though.
It would have been fire, huh?
Yeah, it would have been nice.
I should go to one of these press conferences.
You should.
And Christian Parker kind of gave you a little tidbit that I took from that. Like with my 3 defensive tackles, yeah, there's some 4-man looks that we can use and some 5 and 6s, right?
Yeah.
So I started thinking about 4-man down looks that you can use with your 3 tackles or whatever. I think that's kind of him telling us that Osa and Kenny could be one of those head up on the tackle dudes sometimes. Mm-hmm. And Kenny has Packers film of him doing that. Yep. I mean, when Clark is here and he has to play one tech because won't have one techs, I mean, you see him there, but like he's played all across the line. And we even saw them kind of messing around with Osa doing it a little bit. So I wouldn't quite overthink the big dude that got to play over the tackle conversation because you kind of got some dudes that'll do it. To the question that you posed, it doesn't change how I look at Keldrick Faulk. Yeah. I like that body type though. Like we trying to find a guy that does that. So what I'm looking for is like the bang for my buck type situation, right? You got your big edge dudes and you got your small bendy edge dudes. I think you're better off looking for your standing rushing dudes early, and then later you got some big body Gabe Jacques's, Danny Dennis Smith's, even like Tyreek Sapp if they like him, the Tyreek Sapp. If you like body types that size, Zion Young probably be gone. But I think there are going to be body types that you can coach to do that job later. Mm-hmm. If I'm early in the draft, I'm looking for my bursty rusher dudes that can stand up and help Donovan and them rush the passer.
You think about like Danny Dennis Sutton from Penn State or Anthony Lucas from USC.
I call him Danny Dennis Smith, my bad. But Danny Dennis Sutton, yeah. Like, and honestly too, like I would imagine that role that we're talking about, the big edge setting, like that's a 2-down player in my mind. You know what I'm saying?
Probably. And
because on 3rd down, they're either going to rush in B gap or something, but you got Quentin Williams and Kenny Clark and those to probably do that. So in my mind, I think you would need the standing rushing dude more than the edge setting bigger dude. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather use the premium stuff on the standing guys and find my bigger guys later.
How do you feel about that? Attacking the athleticism early.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Look how Philadelphia's built their defensive line and built their pass rush plan over the course of the last 3 seasons, and what Denver has done as well. And those are 2 of the best pass rushing teams in the NFL. It's not even like high premium picks that they've used on guys like Nolan Smith, or even you could factor Jalen Carter into this conversation as well, even though he's an interior guy. But even a 3rd-round pick like Jalen Hunt and how impactful he was in their Super Bowl win a couple of years ago, and then this last season, he's that stand-up edge rusher type guy, considered outside linebacker, who had 6.5 sacks last year, but also had 3 interceptions because he can have that versatility from the stand-up position. And so, it should be exciting, I think, for Cowboys fans. It's just, look, Christian Parker can say everything, and he can be the smartest man in the room, which yesterday it certainly felt like it. Yeah. But it does not matter unless they have the pieces in place to help 100%. Him out. And that's going to be, not only this draft, but free agency, that's going to be a big part of the conversation.
And that's what he said. He said that yesterday. He said great players make great coaches, and that's been the case throughout the history of the NFL as a whole. But with that being said, who are some of the great players that are going to add to this team? When we come back, it's Twitter on the 20. I already have one question that I can't wait to ask. With the conversation for Christian Parker, what is your prediction at 12 and 20 for Dallas going into the NFL Combine, prior to the Combine? That's going to be the first question we answer when we come back with more of the Draft Show right after this on DallasCowboys.com.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
How about them Cowboys? And how about them Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls? Keep your game day celebrations going with real eggs, potatoes, cheese, and our savory Jimmy Dean sausage. And with 22 grams of protein per serving, you'll have enough energy to power you from early morning to the final whistle. The no-hassle, ready-in-minutes prep makes it easy. Just heat, eat, and cheer on those Cowboys. Get yours today. Jimmy Dean brand is proud to be the official protein of the Dallas Cowboys.
This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show.
Back here on the Draft Show, presented by Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Off-season is the perfect time to upgrade your Cowboys wardrobe and get ready for the season. Find new fits and fresh styles at a pro shop near you or shop online at shop.dallascowboys.com. A Fanatics experience today. Back with Voch Lombardi, Nick Harris, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back. I'm Kyle Youmans. It's time now for some
Twitter on the 20.
Twitter on the 20, and it's Edward that asked the first question.
What's up, Eddie?
And I teased it going into the break there. But based off of what you heard yesterday, what the conversation was, what are your predictions at 12 and 20 as we stand today on February 19th of 2026, 63 days out? Still a long way to go. But I'll start with you, Nick. What would be 12 and 20 for you?
Let me dream a little bit at 12.
I know, right?
Oh, you're going to dream?
That's exactly why I was
You're going to dream?
But it's not going to be the ultimate dream. I don't think Caleb Downs is there. I think it's going to be Sonny Styles at 12.
Okay.
Avion Terrell at 20. I think that makes a lot of sense because of the importance that he threw on that nickel position yesterday. It's got me thinking a lot. Now, granted, a lot of things can change, next week at the Combine, and then certainly in free agency, we're going to have different conversations about this. But this is my way too early, reckless 12 and 20 for sure.
I like both of those picks. If that ends up being the draft at 12 and 20, I feel like your defense took a large step in the right direction. Yeah. And both of those guys are immediately going to play significant snaps and probably be pretty good as rookies too.
Yeah.
I would think. That I like that. Tommy.
I will go with Styles as well, the linebacker from Ohio State at 12. And as my good friend Voch says, I'm phony. So I'm going Dylan Thieneman from safety at 20. I don't know if he'll necessarily play nickel, even if he just plays safety like I was talking about. I think that's a big upgrade over what you've got. And like I said, I think you can find some guys in the later round, whether they don't get a day 2 pick. I think even if you get into the 4th, that I think this corner class is deep enough to where you can find a guy that can maybe handle some of those responsibilities for you at nickel. I'm not trying to disassociate the importance of nickel from Christian Parker, what he said yesterday, but I think you can find that later in this draft too, or in free agency.
Man, I would love it if one of our, corners are there at 12, either one of the linebackers, pass rush, safety. I'm prepared that we're going to get hurt, man. I'm prepared that we're going to get wiped out. And I need Cowboy fans to be ready for that too. You know what I'm saying? These drafts ain't going to always go the way you want them to go. And we can Caleb Downs you to death, and we're going to get the draft day dressed up nice, and Caleb Downs goes 7, and now we like, damn, now
there it goes.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready
It's
for
the Tedero and McMillan conversation.
You got to be ready for everything. I'm prepared, man, if the running back fall to 12. I'm prepared. I'm mentally ready to take him. You know what
Jeremiah
I'm saying?
Love, Notre Dame.
Jeremiah Love. I'm mentally ready to be like, hey, man, he the best dude, and I'm not taking a second round corner because we need corner. I'm not trying to take a second round edge because we need edge. I'll take the running back. I'm gonna say Sonny Styles at 12 for the sake of the exercise and what I want, but man, dog, I think it's gonna be an offensive dude at 12. And defense, man, we'll go Cassius Howell because teams suck at drafting. Go ahead.
What about Francis Mauigoa at 12?
I'm smart. Man, look, dog. So
him or Love, they're both there.
Love is a better player to me, so I'm taking Love.
Okay.
Yeah. But man, I'm O-line guy. And it was this this doomsday mock draft somebody put on Twitter. And Mal Noah was 17th on there. They was like, Voch, what would you do with this? And I was like, how the hell
get that far?
Marinara?
Marinara. How the hell friends Mal Noah fall to, you know what I'm saying?
There's some good Italian food in Miami.
If you get wiped out defensively and Mal Noah is sitting right there and the running back ain't there,
there's no way.
I'm taking Mal Noah. I would be a fool. And I know you need defense. Voch, we need defense. No, O-line again. But, dog, like, Mal Noah or Colton Hood for you?
Mauigoa.
Mal Noah.
It's Kyle.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
Mawanoa or Colton Hood.
Oh yeah, Mawanoa.
That's what I'm saying. And this draft in particular, once you get past those first round grades, it's like, man, Peter Woods or something. Peter Woods or Mawanoa. I'm taking Mawanoa over Peter Woods. Mawanoa over Cassius. Any of the running backs. Your best guard. I'm taking Mawanoa. Well, he'll be probably somebody's guard, but I'm taking Mawanoa over all these people. Concepcion or something. One of these wide receivers, man. I'm taking the best guy. So I'm prepared if defense is wiped, I'll take offense. I don't want to hear trade back talk.
Just to differ things up in my 2 picks at 12 and 20, I've done some self-scouting, Everybody does that in the offseason. And I went back and looked at my boards and where Dallas has gone a couple different times over the last 4 or 5 years.
What you say?
And I've always been Mr. Optimism when it comes to the mock drafts. I've always thought the Teterow and McMillans would fall. I thought these guys would end up being in that conversation.
CeeDee Lamb ruined all of our
CeeDee Lamb was the first draft I covered on this show, and you're right. It completely ruined it. So I'm going to go the opposite direction. I'm going to say things do happen in a less optimistic way, but there are still some good names above, which means Avion Terrell, you had him at 20. What if they take him at 12?
Yep.
It might be one of those drafts where it's like, oh, he's still in that conversation. Yeah. They take him at 12. So he goes 12. And then kind of along the lines that you talked about there, that big edge rusher, I think there are too many guys that they got to go get, whether it be in free agency, trade value, or in the draft. I think you got to pick up a big edge rusher, TJ Parker, out of Clemson. So you go Clemson both picks. I think we've seen that before in the NFL. Haven't seen it with Dallas in a long time. They went 1-2 with Michigan with Mozzie and Luke, and that didn't necessarily work out. But I'm going to say those two as my 63 days out prediction. I think it's going to be two guys that you probably think are lower than 12 and 20, but they make sense because they're still in that conversation and they fit a couple of your needs.
And Kyle, I hate that, but we got to be ready for that.
But that's what it could be.
That's the draft.
Is that what I would like to happen? No. But I think it's possible that something like that does happen.
I'm with you, but if that is a scenario, you better be working them phone lines.
Please.
To trade back?
At both picks, yeah.
Okay. Let's work the phone lines a little bit, shall we? Okay. Somebody sent me this tweet, and it's from Brandon Laurie, who does a great job of covering the Cowboys on X. He's a friend of the show as well. He had a hypothetical first-round trade back scenario from 12. With the New York Jets, we trade 12 overall and receive 16 and 44. It's a little bit of an overpay, but New York's coming up to get Ty Simpson at the quarterback spot. And they're trying to jump in front of the Los Angeles Rams, a team that could also entertain drafting a quarterback that they could develop behind Matthew Stafford for the future. So you get 16, 20, and 44 on your board. Would you consider that as a possibility? And do you think that's something that Dallas would entertain if the New York Jets were able to do so?
HE double hockey sticks, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're in a scenario where Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, Mansour Delane are not there.
That's right.
Those are those three guys for me. If those three guys are off the board, I'm on the phone lines. If one of those three are there, I'm taking them. That's for me personally, though.
And it's a 260-point overpay, so you might have to give up something there, but there's a quarterback tax too. So if it's anything, it's probably just one of your day 3 comp picks or something like that.
Yeah.
Would you do that, Voch?
I don't want to be moved around just to be cute. I think Nick said it perfectly. If Downs is there, I ain't going. Styles.
I think we're all there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There are some trade down. That's probably a trade down situation where you move away from Downs, but this one in particular is not it. And you say the pick that we get is 40 what? 46?
44.
So it's a top 50 pick. I can sure, I can find you some good
You
players.
had 44 last year.
I can find you some good players. You know what I'm saying? But
tell me what players are in the conversation there if you have
at 44?
16, 20, and 44.
16, 20.
You can go get your safety.
Yeah.
You can go get your safety if you're talking about if you don't get obviously Caleb Downs or Dylan Thieneman. Then you have, I think Emmanuel McNeil-Warren could potentially be in that mix. A.J. Halsey, Kamari Ramsey. I'm sorry, schools, my bad. Dylan Thieneman, Oregon. Kamari Ramsey, USC. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Toledo. A.J. Halsey, LSU.
Okay. What would you do there?
I would. I'm with them. Unless Downs or Styles is there, it's thank you, Mr. Is it Johnson? Woody Johnson, right?
Oh, boy.
Something like
He wouldn't be on the phone, I promise you. But
Whoever's on the other line, thank you very much. Let's send that card in for the trade. And, yeah, there's all kinds of guys you could pick at 44. I mean, even if you don't take a corner, maybe like a Chris Johnson from San Diego State is still there. If you like some of these edge rushers, like a Derek Moore from Michigan, he could be there. there's a lot of different options that you could drop back at some of these positions in need and probably find at that spot.
I think you could potentially go and get a running back. Jadarian Price out of Notre Dame, I think is going to be one of the
so
more awesome picks you could take at the top of day 2. I think you could potentially, find that complement to Javonte Williams there and throw some competition in the room with Jaden Blue.
I like that. Yeah. Maybe wide receiver, if something happens with Pickens there too in the fold. Maybe more so with 2 first-round picks, and then you can address defense at 20 and 44.
I'm going all defense, but I got them picks.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the thought process.
16, I will go edge because all my favorite edges will probably be there.
Right
How Mesidor height.
Yeah.
20, I'm going to go safety because I feel good about taking Thieneman, Wheatley, McNeil, Warren at 20. And I think linebacker going to be a real good spot around the 40s because some teams suck at draft. They're like, oh, Allen Short, he might be there. Jay Gold, that I love a whole bunch. Anthony Hill going to be there. And depending on how much you like Trot and Rodriguez, they'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So I think 46 is prime linebacker range. That's what I would do.
All right, Robert asked the question.
What's up, Rob?
Do you have something
Real
else
quick.
there?
You threw out Wheatley in that safety conversation at 20?
Zaki Wheatley, Penn State, 20. Yes, sir. I got him higher than McNeil Warren on my board. Yes, sir.
You'd pick him at 20?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I have him higher too.
Yeah, I think safeties that have range should get bumped up real high automatically for no reason.
He's going to be one of these guys that I talk about in the combine preview.
He's going to test really well.
He's going to test off
and
the
he
charts.
makes plays on the ball. That dude going to be in that conversation. I would imagine.
You don't feel that way?
No, I was just clarifying because that was the first time I think we've talked about him on the show. So I wanted to tell me.
Hey man, Penn State safety plays, high plays, low play. Kids hands on the ball everywhere. I actually posted a clip on Twitter. I was smitten by this clip. He's one of them dudes that can line up on. Yeah, he lined up on like the right hash, like Boise State or something. Lined up on the right hash, and he ranged his ass all the way to the left side of the field. And I think safeties don't really be doing that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a bunch of box safeties and dudes that'll chase tight ends around. But I think when you get a rangy dude, I think you have to bump those guys up, and I bumped him up because of that. Quarterback reader, instincts, great timing on routes, breaks on ball quickly. Active in the run game, probably clean up some of the tackling, but he's active, and I'm grateful for that. Not as good in man coverage, but that's okay.
You said what clip was that game from? What game was that clip from?
Like Boise State or something.
Boise State. Okay.
I'll go
back and look at it.
Thank you.
I go on my Twitter.
I know. I'm going to try and find that game. Robert wants to ask, you can draft 2, sign 1 out of these 3 positions. What would be the best combination in your eyes? Linebacker, safety, corner. Which 2 are you drafting? Which 1 are you signing?
Draft 2, sign 1?
Yes.
Linebacker, safety, corner?
Mm-hmm.
I draft the safety, sign the other 2, linebacker and corner.
Well, draft 2, sign 1.
Oh, draft 2, sign 1?
Yeah.
Draft safety and pass rush.
I'm signing the veteran linebacker.
Yeah, I'm signing the linebacker and drafting the other 2.
Even though the linebacker class is awesome.
So even though you just predicted Sonny Styles at 12.
I do both.
But that's a different scenario.
Okay.
Man, Nick, look at this, man.
I'm just asking.
It's the Fiesta Bowl from 2020.
Oh, that's what it was?
Early 2025.
He's just going to teleport over there. What are you doing?
Yeah, good player.
24 season.
What are you doing?
24 season against Boise State.
Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Their Mickey Mouse run in the CFP last year.
Mickey Mouse.
They played nobody.
Don't talk about my Spencer Danielson.
You stop it. Ashton Genty was a dog. You know it.
I know that, but never mind.
What would help the cornerbacks more?
A safety.
Okay, that's
Christian
answer.
There were 2 options here. That was one of them. It was going to be better pass rush or better safety play.
Safety was show.
I'd take the pass rush.
Yeah, me too.
I'd take the pass rush. That ball, if it's coming out quick, you're going to see turnovers, and I think that benefits guys like Deron Bland and Savon Revel. I don't think there's a wrong answer to that question, though.
Yeah, it's not a wrong answer.
Yeah, Dan was the one that asked that question.
What's up, Dan?
Smalls wants to know if the phone doesn't ring for trade backs, would you consider moving 2027 draft capital to get back into the 2nd or the 3rd rounds?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Try and move some of next year's draft picks to get back into day 2.
They've already started moving 2028 draft capital.
Yeah, that's true.
The Awesome Richards trade back before the season started. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I would love that just personally because then we're not sitting here on our hands all of day 2. Do you guys get the same feel that they are going to try and do that at some point? They're going to work the phones at some point in time to try and get into day 2.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to
Jerry's already hinted at it multiple times. Yeah. And I think for sure. The one thing that scares me a little bit, though, the top of the draft class of 2027 is going to be incredible. Even if you only look at like the top 15 guys right now, it's going to be incredible. They only have one of those picks to their avail right now. if you have to trade up to go get Caleb Downs, I'm worried that you got to spend that pick. And then you go from having 2 picks in the 2027 first round to none. And I worry about that a little bit, but that's a hypothetical.
If you win the Super Bowl, you don't give a damn about
100%.
next year's draft.
Cool with that too.
I don't give a damn about nobody.
1,000%.
Draft them superstars. I got a ring, boy.
Yeah, I love your thought process there, but that hasn't been the case.
I'm phony, dog. I'm goofy and optimistic. You're right.
Okay. Normally that's where I'm at too. Ed wants to clarify. He said, let's say that this dream scenario happens, and Dallas has both Jeremiah Love, running back out of Notre Dame, and Caleb Downs, safety, available. Is that an easy pick?
Downs.
Yes.
It's Downs, right?
It's Downs.
Okay. So that's why he wanted
I just want people to understand. I'm sick of all this. I'm comfortable at 12, or I'll just trade back. You have to be like, well, if the phones don't ring, what do I do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in real life, yeah, we want Downs or Mansour or McCoy, Sonny. We want these guys. But if they're not there, you just can't be like, oh, I'm just going to trade back. Make a pick. And if the running back is there, make the pick. If the right tackle is there, I love Tyson and Lemon and Tate. Take one of them and just get your guy and just fix it later. The Cowboys needed wide receiver real bad last year.
Yeah.
And we was gonna go into the draft. We just waiting on the Cowboys to draft a receiver.
Didn't do it.
They didn't draft a receiver. And they went, damn, dog, we still need a receiver. And they made something happen. Dog, just draft who you need to draft, dog. Draft who you need to draft.
You certainly snuck Jermon McCoy in there.
I like Jermon.
I like Jermon McCoy.
I like Jermon McCoy. I'm just saying, if last year the Cowboys was like, all right, we about to get Ted McMillan. Damn, Ted McMillan didn't go. We just about to overdraft another receiver and not get Booker.
No, they played it the smart way.
Take your best guy, man.
Took your guy and then make the trades later on. And
Let's
that's
be
what we
smart.
got to keep in mind.
I hate screaming
we
this
get
microphone.
closer.
I'm sorry. I get passionate, man.
No, I'm glad. I would rather that. That's perfect.
And Melvin in the chat be hating when I be hating on. Oh, Voch, you got to trade back. No, man, just take your pick, man. Shouts out to Melvin, though.
Melvin's always going to give some criticism.
Melvin's sick husband. He don't miss no shows, though.
No, he does not. All right. When we come back.
That's not hate.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, right.
When we come back here on the Draft Show, it's time to preview the Combine. Who are some of the players that are going to stick out and test well, and who do you want to answer questions for when we get to Indy next week? More of the Draft Show right after this.
Look at Melvin. Fix it.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
How about them Cowboys? And how about them Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls? Keep your game day celebrations going with real eggs, potatoes, cheese, and our savory Jimmy Dean sausage. And with 22 grams of protein per serving, you'll have enough energy to power you from early morning to the final whistle. The no-hassle, ready-in-minutes prep makes it easy. Just heat, eat, and cheer on those Cowboys. Get yours today. Jimmy Dean brand is proud to be the official protein of the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
This is the DallasCowboys.com Draft Show.
Back here on the Draft Show, get excited for the most dazzling DCC experience. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders live, coming to a theater near you. Witness iconic group and solo performances. Enjoy an on-stage Q&A session. Even be a part of a live audition For dates and tickets, visit DallasCowboysCheerleaders.com/tour. Wrapping things up here on the Draft Show, just a programming note for everybody tuning in today. There's no draft show on Tuesday, but we will have shows from Indianapolis on Radio Row at the Combine Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
This is news to me, too, so that's fantastic. Let's have some fun.
There you go.
So I got to come to work? Hold on. So I don't...
Yeah, you're good on Tuesday, I think. Unless there's a break episode or something like that, but I doubt it. But, yes, no draft show Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you will get live from or live and or recorded from Indianapolis next week. But we will have 3 episodes for you from the NFL Scouting Combine. Let's preview that Combine a little bit here. In the break, Nick, you said you would make a bet on who's going to run the fastest 40. Who would that be in your eyes?
Yeah, give me a bet. I'm willing to take it. Brennan Thompson, wide receiver out of Mississippi
I was hoping
State.
you wouldn't say him because I was going to bring him to the table.
Oh, I mean, I think it's a safe pick. He was
burner.
Who's track state champion.
Mississippi State wide receiver.
He was a track state champion and then the 3A ranks in the state of Texas at Spearman High School up in the Panhandle. Shout out to the Lynx. He was a 3-time state champion, I believe. He won the 100 meter twice and the 200 meter his senior year. He's a Blazer, and he had 1,000 yards for the Bulldogs this last season. He spent time at the University of Texas, at Oklahoma University, and he finished up at Mississippi State, and he had an awesome year this past season. And I think he's going to be a very fun day 3 guy we talk about. But yeah, that's for my money. I think Nicholas Singleton's going to drop a pretty good time too, the running back out of Penn State. I would also look at Damon Claiborne, the running back out of Wake Forest. I think he's going to lay down a pretty good time too.
What do you think about Zachariah Branch?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right there too.
Yeah, he was a track guy at Modern Day.
He's in Vegas.
No. Yeah, you're
Gorman?
right. He was
Bishop Gorman.
He was at Desert Pines and then Bishop Gorman. Yeah. So Zachariah Branch for sure is going to be another one.
Who are some of the guys that you want to watch?
There's a lot. We talked about him a little bit earlier, the linebacker from Cincinnati, Jake Golday. I think he's super athletic, so that could be a guy that definitely tests very well at this. A guy who I mentioned, I forgot to mention in the last thing we were talking about guys who could play nickel, Keith Abney from Arizona State. I'd be interested in that, and I think he could see his stock rise with a good combine. I don't know if you guys have watched this guy yet, but Emmett Johnson, the running back from Nebraska.
It's a lot of fun.
That's a fun player.
That's a second round running back.
I tried to bring him up the other day. We ran out of time. It was like most recent fun watch. He is awesome.
Yeah, he's second best running back on my board.
What do I have?
I have him third behind Love and Price.
I have him third behind Singleton and Love.
The only reason I got him over Price, and I love Price, is Johnson caught the ball a lot in the break.
Yes, he did.
And I didn't see Price catch the ball. Like maybe they just didn't throw it to him or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't like Price as a pass blocker. Johnson ain't great at it neither. But as runners, like both those dudes are like top tier. I love them both.
Did we say Emmett Johnson out of Nebraska?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure we said a school there.
Yeah.
Emmett.
Another running back that I like is we talked about him I think last week. Mike Washington, running back from Arkansas. Let's see here. All right, my ultimate trust the tape guy that I don't know how he's going to test, but I just hope that somebody likes him.
I love it.
I hope that somebody likes him as much as I do. CJ Daniels, the wide receiver.
CJ Daniels can play.
CJ Daniels, the wide receiver from Miami. I love this kid. He's super athletic. He can make all kinds of ridiculous catches. I just don't think he's been used very well the last couple of years. He's kind of buried on the depth chart at LSU for no reason in 24. But he had a great year this year, I think, for Miami. And 6'2", 205. So hopefully he has a good week. I like him a lot.
When he was at Liberty and they made the Fiesta Bowl.
Oh my gosh,
awesome!
He was
that
great.
Year.
Yeah,
that would have been his sophomore year. Yeah, he was fantastic.
One guy that we haven't talked about a whole lot on this show. I think we brought him up maybe really early, but I think he's a top 5 to 6 wide receiver in this draft as well. But Casey Concepcion, he's electrifying.
Texas A&M.
Yeah, Texas A&M wide receiver. Electrifying guy. Do you expect him to run a 40 as quickly as some of those other guys that we've mentioned? Is he in the low 4.4s as he probably should be?
Yeah, I think he'll be in that conversation. I don't think he's going to contend for the top time, but he'll certainly lay down a decent time.
Nobody even close in this conversation. Here's Concepcion.
Oh, we got some tape.
Let's go. He is electric. He was a good punt returner, as you see here. What he can do just from a side-to-side standpoint. He is a wild accelerator, too.
He runs like he stole some in the neighborhood. He's got that high, them
All right,
high
Gus
elbows.
Johnson.
He runs with those high elbows.
He kind of has. He's so good off the line, like you just saw there. But he kind of has one speed. Like I'm worried about his top end speed. He kind of just has that same speed throughout the entire route. Like you can see him.
He's 0 to 80 real quick, but can he hit 100?
Yeah. He explodes off the line. But you can see some of this here where you don't really see acceleration as he's going through that turn or anything like that. That's not necessarily a problem. I still love Concepcion, but if he doesn't win his route early, is he a guy that can separate? I still nonetheless would absolutely take him day 2 early.
He can catch in traffic too. I mean, he's not afraid of contact. He's only 5'11". I'm interested to see what his actual measurements end up being, but 5'11", one of those guys that I think you can use over the middle of the field. You can use him outside. You can use him inside. You see him here, like he's durable enough to where he played a ton for Texas A&M, and he was a massive part of their offense.
Let me ask y'all this: if y'all find out that y'all favorite 5'11" player is 5'10" after the combine, what do y'all do with that on y'all boards? Y'all move it around?
I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Depends on what position they're playing.
It depends.
I don't give a damn.
I mean, Diego Pavia. That doesn't change it at all. I mean, he went from 6 foot. He went from 6 foot to 5'9".
It's a big ass jump.
He's still late.
That's
day
a lot. Yeah,
Well, that don't count.
You're right.
That don't count.
Good point. Good point.
That's fair.
I will say this. If you are a Cowboys fan and you're watching the combine and you're watching these positional drills, you need to be rooting for a lot of offensive players to have a damn good week.
Yes.
You are rooting for Ty Simpson to you're rooting for Ty Simpson to have the best combine of any player in Indianapolis. You're rooting for all 3 of these wide receivers to show up and ball out. Jordan Tyson, Arizona State, Carnell Tate, Ohio State, Mekhi Lemon, USC. You are rooting for these guys to get mocked top 12 coming out of the combine, because if those 4 get thrown in there top 12, then that increases the chances that you're going to get your defensive guy there at 12. So if you're looking at it from Cowboys lens, man, you need to be rooting for all these offensive guys to show up and show out.
Okay, along those lines, we talked about a lot of offensive guys and who are going to show out. Who are some of the defensive guys, the hoop drills, and some of the different things? It may not be the same top names from a speed standpoint in the 40, which of course is the star-studded event of the combine, but in these other drills, who defensively is going to test really well?
Mellow Height, R. Mason Thomas about to bend the hell out the little loops.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
They about to bend the little loops to oblivion, and I'm looking for them dudes to get some first round hype by the end of this thing, man.
I'm curious to see how Jacob Rodriguez out of Texas Tech, the linebacker, tests. I think this is going to be a very big week for him, and either solidifying his first round status or solidifying his second round status. And so I think that's going to be very big for him.
What would you anticipate if you were going to make a prediction one way or the other?
Second.
He's going to end up being a second round pick?
Yeah, probably.
Where do you have him on your board?
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care about Rodriguez. If he's mediocre athletically, I could care less. I think he just has a knack for getting the ball out and turning the ball over.
He's going to be a pro for a long
plays.
time.
Yeah, he's going to be a really good player, I think. Voch mentioned it. R. Mason Thomas, I think he's going to have a great week. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he flew up boards. Brandon Cisse, the corner from South Carolina, I think this is a tailor-made event for him to show off his athleticism and jump a little bit. He might need some work when he gets somewhere, but I think it'll be a good week for him. Kyle Lewis, we saw a good bit of it at the Senior Bowl from Pitt, the linebacker. Wouldn't shock me at all if he had a good week. Voch's favorite player, Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle from Florida, might have a really good week testing athletically. You're watching R. Mason Thomas here from Oklahoma. Just gets off the line super quick, even when his teammates shoving him there, because that's just how Oklahoma plays football, I guess. Still hasn't scored a touchdown on Texas in 2 years.
Whoa.
But, yeah, he flies off the edge. Great bend, like Voch was talking about. And, you know, the thing that stands out about him, and this is what you want from your edge rushers, is they close games. He showed up in the biggest moments late in the game. And I think he could have a really nice week in Indianapolis.
How do you feel like David Bailey out of Texas Tech?
Oh, he's gonna
test great.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
First step ability. He's got some straight line speed too.
He's a freak.
Yeah.
He's a freak. And freaks show up at the combine.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. In Cowboy land, I'm asking questions. Too many questions again?
No, you're good.
It's
I'm
your
sorry.
staple.
I was laughing at my freak comment. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Huh? Who?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, y'all. In Cowboy land, do you think, like you was earlier talking about what Cowboys want and shouldn't want, do you think we're going to, like now Sonny Styles is a conversation for us at 12. Do you think Sonny Styles will go so crazy at the combine that he turns into a clear top 8 dude and we should stop talking about him? And on that same token, question B is that I don't think that Downs is going to blow us away with his combine.
Probably not.
Do you think that'll make us feel better about Downs being there at 12? Could y'all answer both of those?
I definitely see Styles testing to the point where teams take him early.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people will care as much unless Downs is just like
Team suck time. That's what we're hoping for.
I understand that, but unless Downs is just like, oh my gosh, is he hurt?
Yeah.
Unless he has that kind of week, I don't think people's minds are going to change about Downs.
Yeah, I'm completely with Tommy. 100% agreement.
Yeah, Styles, even if Styles tests above the rest of the pack, I mean, is it still going to be enough for him to be taken over some of these other defensive names that we've talked about the entire time? Right? Like, is it going to take it above the Baines and the Baileys, who are also going to test solid in Indianapolis too? I mean, it would have to take a significant rise for any of these guys to move. And we've talked about the Combine and the Senior Bowl and things like that in the past. Yes, it can help players. Yeah. It can hurt players in some rare scenarios. But for the most part, it's just information. And it's just to complete the picture of everybody. You have to really stand out amongst the pack in order to elevate your draft stock. And that's what it would take, I think, for Styles to go from right around that 12 to 15 mark into the top 8 to 12 picks, you know.
Yep.
It would take a lot. And he would have to pass people up in that case too. But if Caleb Downs wants to maybe stumble a little bit out of his break on the 40 and end up running like a 4.75, I'm cool with that too. Like, we can make that happen.
One guy that we have not talked about nearly enough, I feel like, who is certainly going to be picked in the top 12 and makes even more sense after hearing Christian Parker talk yesterday, Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. And, you know, if you're rooting for some of these offensive guys to jump into the top 12, that's another defensive guy who could potentially start slipping. And Arvell Reese, man, when hearing Christian Parker talk about his system yesterday, that's a guy that immediately jumps out as well. Not as much as Caleb Downs, I would feel like, but if both of them are sitting on the board somehow for you there at 12, I think Reese is just as much of a consideration as Downs.
Yeah.
Either or, Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
Which one who would you have?
Combine. I stack after Combine.
Reese for me.
Yeah.
I would take Reese after as well.
Take Reese.
So we're talking about Sonny Styles falling to 12. If that's a possibility, he would have to jump Reese. Kind of going back to what I was just talking about. Mm-hmm. He would have to test better enough to overtake Reese in that regard.
I will say this is a big-time pipe dream.
That Reese would be there?
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do we know if Jermichael McCoy is going to be working out? Like this is a big combine for his like medicals or whatever, but like, do we know if he's going to run around a little bit?
That's a great question. I was about to ask about the medical side of things. Anybody with medical red flags that you're interested in learning more about as time goes on and we get closer to Indy? And
he is expected to participate.
He's got to be the number one part of the list.
That's huge for him. Yeah.
Yeah. If he goes out and has a stellar combine and looks good, is he all of a sudden a favorite at 12? He's already in the conversation, but is he a favorite there if Dallas sees him run the way that he probably should?
I don't see how he could jump Mansour Delane in my eyes. But yeah, I think you could talk me into it if he had a really good combine week. I'm about to sneeze. I'm sorry.
All right. Bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Right in the middle of great analysis, too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's all I had.
Yeah. If he goes out there and he's as athletic and good looking and running as his last film, you ain't got to talk me into it, because on my board I got him ranked higher than Mansour Delane. Just film wise, I got him ranked higher. So if he goes out there and just looks like him, please go ahead, Tom. I'm sorry.
If McCoy played in 2025 and his tape was as good as it was in 24, I'd have him over Delane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But since there's just so many questions and the guy hasn't played a game in well over a year, it would take a lot for me to push him over Delane if both are there at 12, for example.
Yeah. Any other medical red flags? This is where usually Bobby's strong point is. We'll ask him again when we get to Indianapolis on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But any other medical red flags that have questions going into Indy that you want to get answered?
Yeah, this is probably one that we're gonna have to leave for Bobby on Wednesday.
We'll learn more about red flags that we don't even know about yet,
for sure,
as well when we get out there.
Kool-Aid McKinstry, they found out he had a foot fracture a couple years ago at the combine. There's one or two big ones every year.
Yeah,
I think Akeem Messidor got hurt towards the end of the year. That'll be an interesting one.
He's been hurt his whole life, man.
And then there was the news the other day too that Isaiah World, the tackle from Oregon, tore his ACL against Indiana.
Yep. And he's not even on the combine list.
Yeah, no,
he didn't even make the list for it.
Tough blow.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one. He was probably a top 10 tackle in the draft, and now he's probably on the outside looking in a little bit there. But.
Chris Bell, wide receiver from Louisville, is a hurt guy, and I like him a whole bunch.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah,
he was really good.
Incredible, but the ACLs, man.
Well, we will talk about it a little bit more on Wednesday. Voch, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
I'll take a break or something.
Appreciate you as always.
Hey, yo, Beam, can I just come through and, make some bread or something? Like you ain't got to take me off the schedule.
You're going to make bread?
Don't worry about it.
All right, that does it for us here on the Draft Show. Hope you had some fun with us this week. We'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from the NFL Combine, and we will get you all the questions answered, hopefully, over the next week or so. For Voch Lombardi, for Nick Harris, Tommy Yarrish, Chris Beam in the back, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long. We'll see you next week with more of the Draft Show.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?